get you.
Hi, my name is Nikki, and I identify myself as a pansexual transgender woman. I am proud to be, and I am living life. My favorite color is purple. My favorite animal is a panda, and I love to watch scary movies. And I love to play video games.
Don't stare, mama taught me better. I know it's rude, but you're right there. Now I don't wanna move.
Thank you.
Of course.
I love it. You know, the first thing I wanted to talk about is how everybody has like their own inspirations and their own desires. Everybody has things that influence them and that drive them, and you know, I was curious to know what makes you tick.
I am extremely motivated by strong women because as a woman myself, that's something that empowers me. Someone of my own gender who has been through the struggles, who has been through the experience, and when they talk, it motivates me. It motivates me to keep going. It motivates me to get stronger. It motivates me to be better. Like, I especially look up to women of color. They especially know the struggle. They have been through more struggle than anyone else. And they are someone to look up to. Like, fellow trans women, especially trans women of color, trans women of color are the most targeted human beings on this planet.
Wow.
And
I didn't know that.
They're murdered on the daily. It's not only a discrimination against their gender, it's a discrimination against their race too. And when these women speak, and they are powerful and they're fierce because they are done being treated the way they are.
Yeah.
And they want things to change. So that's why I look up to strong women. I look up to strong women of color. I look up to strong trans women and trans women of color.
Oh, I love it. We need more people like that.
Absolutely.
In this world, more strong-willed people who are willing to fight for the right thing and not really go necessarily by social norms or what people say they should do, but what feels right and doesn't hurt anybody in the long run.
Absolutely. Like,
You know.
being a trans woman, like, I don't see what the big deal is, because it's not going to make you lose your house. It's not going to make you lose your kids. It's not going to make your girlfriend or boyfriend break up with you. You're not going to lose your job. I might lose my job due to being trans.
Yeah.
But you won't.
Yeah.
My life does not affect anyone else's but my own.
Exactly. And that's the problem, is people don't realize that, you know, what you choose to do with your life is never going to affect anybody else. What you choose to put out into the world is what will affect other people.
Absolutely.
You know, so, you know, and I think people kind of confuse that sometimes, because what you put out to the world isn't always who you are. There are people who are hurting on the inside and they have giant smiles on, and there's people who have giant who are hurting on the outside, but on the inside they're actually getting a lot of what they are asking for without even realizing it. You know what I mean? So, you know, I definitely, I can relate to that, and to the sense of having a strong figure in your life and having to understand how important it is to have someone to look up to and to keep you motivated and keep you going.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy you have that.
Like, my mother is a very strong woman. My grandma, or my nanny, is a very strong woman. My Aunt Gina is one of the strongest women I know.
Yes.
And I look up to especially these three women.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people look up to celebrities and all these higher up people. I'm looking up to people who are my blood.
Yeah.
Well, my Aunt Gina isn't my blood, but
Yeah.
but I like family.
Yes.
Like, that's what it's all about.
And I love that. I love that your main focus is what's right in front of you, because that's what's going to affect you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I've met your mother, and she's very hospitable.
Oh, I thank you very much.
Very wonderful woman. Okay, so something that I wanted to touch on is that the world that we live in, we are in a very fast-paced world. We get a lot of things shoved in us at all times, you know, what we should want, what we could have. And, you know, I was wondering, when you have all these things shoved into your face, when you're searching for your form of happiness and you have all these things telling you what could make you happy, how do you stay grounded and keep yourself from getting lost in the world of the entertainment and the drama and the things that really aren't very, they're not going to matter in the long run?
Absolutely. Like, how I stay grounded is I don't listen to what anyone says. I know that sounds bad, but like if it's like advice and it's advice I need, of course I'm going to take it. But if someone's telling me, oh, this is what you could do to make yourself happier, this is what you could do for this, and I'm not going to listen, because I know what makes me happy, and I know myself better than anybody else.
Yes. Yeah, that's like the perfect answer in my opinion when it comes to the fact that the only person you can ever rely on is yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, and I actually think that that's a great point to make, is that when you're trying to keep yourself grounded, instead of trying to find it in something else, and you know, yes, it's easy to find it in something else, but to find it in yourself is a very strong, powerful thing.
Thank you.
And I actually admire that, and I hope to be that one day myself.
Of course.
Next thing, you know, my last question, well, actually second to last question. You know, nobody goes without hardship, you know, and when we're in this world where we're so wrapped up in ourselves and we're going through our own hardship, I think sometimes it's hard for people to understand. And it's so easy for us to turn around and say, you know, oh, I'm busy, I don't have time. And people to take it so personal. And I do believe I understand why that happens, but I do sometimes wish that we lived in a more understanding world. And when something like that happened, we could be understanding that somebody else might be going through that. So instead of taking it personal, trying to kind of motivate them to find their happiness and, you know, just lend your services if you need them, you know? And I think that that's very important. And I was wondering if there's any hardship that you're going through or hardship that you would like to share that you've gone through, that like maybe you kind of found yourself in a weird place that, you know, kind of actually showed you who your real friends were and also helped you get to a place where you felt like you were a better, stronger, better you.
Absolutely. I've had a lot of toxicity in my life. It brought me down, but what I learned was that these toxic people don't deserve my time, and that I have people in my life that are worth my time and every part of me.
Yeah.
Like, they deserve my heart, my kindness, and then anything they need.
Yeah.
Like, those are my real friends. I've had toxic friends who have given me insecurities, or like
brought you down in some way.
Brought me down in some kind of way, and it was not okay. So
Yeah.
I dropped them, and now I have the greatest friends ever.
Yeah.
And I couldn't ask for anything better. I have my best friend Zach, I have my friend Patrick, I have my friend Gabby and Joey. Like, they're all such great people.
Yeah.
And they're only building me up and not bringing me down.
I love that. I'm a quote fanatic. Have you ever heard the quote, why do I have to go through troubled waters? And the answer is, because your enemies can't swim. And
Absolutely.
And that's really what it is that, you know, it sucks going through troubled waters, and it's, nobody wants to go through them, but we need to. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's honestly one of the reasons why I wanted to interview and have you here. Oh my gosh, I wish I should have had tissues. One of the reasons why I wanted to have you here was because I know that you're a positive person, and you exude this positive energy through I see it online and stuff like that. And you know, I would love to have you come to shows too. I'd love to see you around more often. I definitely have to invite you out more.
I would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And about what you said before about a more understanding world, like you mentioned that when people don't have time for other people will happen to get offended. Mm-hmm. That is not me, actually. What happens is I understand that people have lives, people have other friends,
Yeah.
people have jobs, people have children, people have husbands and wives. Like, and people can be busy, and you don't know what's going on in their life. They could have a family member in the hospital. They could be rushing their pet to the vet.
Yeah.
Their child could be extremely sick and is needing medical attention.
Yeah.
You don't know what someone's going through.
It's true.
So I have a fantastic friend. Her name is Lily, and she has a 5-year-old son. I might have butchered the age, but let's hope I didn't.
Okay.
She has a 5-year-old son with autism and was diagnosed with cancer.
Wow. My
And
heart goes out.
No one thought he was going to make it, but this kid fought through. He's beaten the cancer, and he is living his life. And he's going to grow to be such a wonderful man.
Oh, that's an amazing
And
turnout.
I don't hear from her from like a few weeks at a time. Do I get offended? Absolutely not, because I understand she has that child, and that child needs her more than anything.
Yeah, and hand in hand with what you were saying there too, you know, like sometimes too we get so caught up in that world that we also find it grounds to excuse on why we treat people bad.
Right.
You know, and that's where we can avoid that, is just understanding. This is my biggest motto, is we can find reasons to keep the situation bitter, or we can find reasons to make the situation better.
Absolutely.
And having that understanding, that optimism, and letting the negative come to you, not assuming the worst. If you need to do that to make a backbone, but hoping for the best and act on that, always acting on the hope for the best. I think that makes a big difference, and sometimes we forget that. We'll get, you know, oh, well, they don't treat me well, so, you know, my mom yells at me that way, so they should get over it because I'm not even half as bad. You know, and just trying to ground ourselves, like we were talking before, and realize that we're all human and we're all trying to do the best we can with the cards we have.
Absolutely.
And if we could be more understanding and more caring and loving and you know, the concept of giving, I think people sometimes miss and match what that is, but giving can just be as simple as a smile. You know, as simple as space, giving absolutely nothing. You know, and it's good that you understand that, and I love that you have that in you to be able to, you know, give your best and understand that, you know, you go through your stuff and they're going through their stuff, and as long as everybody is respectful and treats each other with kindness and love, who cares?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
And we absolutely need a world where, like you said, where more love is given, where people care for each other, because what I usually love to say is that a hug is nature's medicine.
Yes.
And you don't realize how much like life you could give into a person who needs that hug.
Yes. Oh my gosh, if it wasn't coronavirus, I'd give you a hug right now. And I will openly say, I tell my boyfriend all the time, I'm like, when I'm really, really bad and I'm not listening, don't say anything to me, just give me a hug and it will ground me. I'll realize immediately, like, all right, I get it. He's telling me I'm not listening, you know? And so I love hugs. I feel you on
Me
that.
too. I could hug all day.
And then we kind of answered this earlier, but like motivation, I was going to ask you, what is the main thing that motivates you? Would you say, if you could pinpoint one thing that you would wake up in the day and think about and go, let's do this, what would you say that would be?
Can it be a person?
It can be anything. So a person, a thing, a feeling, a smell. It can be whatever inspires you.
Honestly, there was this one trans girl I've been watching on YouTube since I was 14.
Oh, wow.
And her name is Eden Estrada. She goes by Eden the Doll. And she was just one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. And it wasn't that I wanted to look like her, it's that I wanted to be like her.
Aww.
Like, she was a model. She was like, she had everything like done for her transition that made her happy.
Aww.
And I was like, I'm gonna get to that point one day where I'll have a rockin' body, a pretty face, and everything just like her.
She made the goals realistic.
Absolutely.
Because we have these feelings in us from birth, in my opinion, on what makes us feel good. And it's only until growing and learning from others that we begin to learn to put it in words.
Absolutely.
You know, and I totally get that. It sounds like this person was the person who put it into words for you and made you realize, like, that's what I want, and this is what I'm gonna aim for.
Like, the second I saw her, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was just like, this woman isn't my goals to look like, but to be like. I want to be a model like her, and I want to really get in my transition and really make myself happy just like her.
Wow.
And I've been on hormones for 2 years. I had my first surgery to shave down my Adam's apple.
Yeah, you did go through that. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
And
my
I've
gosh.
never felt so happy in my life.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
this was everything I've ever wanted. And I feel like like Eden because I'm feeling myself. I'm happy, and I'm on a photo shoot right now doing an interview.
Isn't that awesome?
It's a start to what I want to be, a model.
I love it. I love it. And you know what's cool? You'll have this forever as some type of, you know, something to show people if you ever go anywhere, you know?
Absolutely.
And you're rocking it. The look, I saw the photos from the photo shoot. You look amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I'm so excited to have you here today. Thank you again.
Of course.
And
Thank you for having me. It was an absolute pleasure.
Of course.
Robot dance, barred, 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 pose, barred, barred, stop, barred, barred, stop, dance. Pose, barred, 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 pose, barred, 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 stop. Bliss Angel Robot Dance.
I'm Nikki Beer, and I'm human.